What's up, guys? I'm KBHD here from Las Vegas, and I've seen a lot of self-driving tech so far here at sea. If you walk through halls with cars in them, there's tons of like open room concepts and things like that, but they feel kind of useless, you know? Like, as long as they're still in a concept phase, they don't really feel real yet. The idea is we're building the interiors of these cars now for this autonomous future where you don't have to be sitting at the wheel, so you can turn around, face your friends, you kind of feel like you're in a moving room, lots of glass. It's very different. And I've seen a lot of that all over the show floor, really far out stuff, crazy shapes, huge chunks of glass, and stuff built for autonomy. Actually, BMW, I think, happy medium, they showed me called the...
Okay, so he's talking about what, Georgie?
Well, about self-driving cars.
Good. And you saw it was some kind of exhibition, right?
Yeah.
Okay. BMW and other car manufacturers were there. So not only Yandex. Okay. And I saw a video how the car drives in Moscow, and the streets are crowded with cars, and the weather is bad, and a robot drives the car very well, very well. At the traffic lights, at zebras, everything is fine. Okay, but my question to you, what about drivers? Drivers will be in this case unemployed or what?
Well, it's difficult to say. I don't think all of them will be unemployed, but a significant part for sure.
Thank you, Georgie, because you will be living in that age of digital technologies. Digital. Why is it digital inside Yandex car?
Well, because it is operated by a robot, of course.
Thank you. And robot, of course, it is artificial intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Second question. Probably you heard about the events in England when they invented these machineries, and there were a lot of machineries invented in Britain. There were a lot of fights, and people who fought against machines were called machine breakers. What did they do with all these new inventions, with all these new machines?
I assume protest against them?
Stronger. They were called machine breakers. So give me an idea, what did they exactly do with all this stuff?
Probably destroy it all.
Absolutely. They destroyed it. What was the reason, George? They were not mad.
They didn't want to lose their jobs.
Absolutely. They wanted to have bread on the table. Bread on the table. And I heard the statistics that British Army fought with machine breakers, and the number of soldiers were even more than in the war with Napoleon, because it's about the same time, the war with Napoleon and the second revolution, machinery revolution. Why so many people fought against machines?
Well, for the reasons we have mentioned.
Absolutely, Georgie. And now, digital revolution, very nice thing. But all Yandex drivers are unemployed now. And all drivers, taxi drivers, cab drivers in New York and London and Paris and Shanghai and other cities are unemployed now, what will be result? I'm talking about society.
Well, it will have its backlash, of course.
With what force? You chose a very nice word, backlash. But what kind of force would be that backlash?
Well, the more the automatization, the more people remain unemployed. So it will eventually deal damage to economics.
What about society? Could be it a way to another revolution?
Maybe.
Because look, you don't need any drivers, but how many people survive because they have along these roads, along these highways, a small cafe, a small boutique, a small shop, a small toilet, a small I don't know what. How many people survive living just near the road?
Well, quite a lot of.
What will happen to their businesses?
Well, they will suffer, of course, but I don't think they will become extinct.
What can you give drivers and what can you give small businesses instead, Georgie? They want to have bread on the table.
Well, it's not a question to me, I'm afraid.
Absolutely, but we just discussed this situation. So, on one hand, artificial intelligence, it's a great thing. On the other hand, by the way, Georgie, how many people worked at a car maker plants, at a car maker factories? How many?
Well, many, of course.
Thousands and thousands, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was in Taliati. Taliati, it's a beautiful city on the river Volga, and there's a plant, and this plant produces what makes of car?
Well, you name it, I don't know.
Lada. Do you know, sir? Lada.
Well, yes.
And, by the way, I was, when I was a child, I was at the plant, inside the plant. And how many people were there? Thousands and thousands and thousands. And the beautiful city was built near the plant with a lot of block flats. And all these people worked for what?
Well, for this plant?
For this plant. And now, how many people does Elon Musk have at Tesla car manufacturer?
Well, a lot too.
Oh, Georgie, you have fun.
Well, you see, there are of course a lot of people, but they just do different jobs today.
Georgie, look, I don't want to use Google again, but if we find pictures of car factory, Elon Musk, or Japanese car factory, we won't see any people there at all. But what can we see? What can we see inside?
We certainly know that there are still a lot of engineers and other staff that watch all the mechanics.
Georgie, numbers, you are talking about 100 people, right? Engineers and all these managers and all these cleaners, you are talking about 100 people. But there were thousands and thousands of people. No more. You named. Georgie, of course you can say, well, they are now, well, say, graphic designer or landscape designer, or they are now programmers. But how many landscape designers and programmers do you know, Georgie?
Well, not too many.
Thank you. So I don't ask you questions because I want to have answers from Georgie. How can I get it? But we just discussed. So Georgie, by the way, I am very afraid of my job. I'm very afraid of losing my job as a teacher. Why, Georgie?
Well, I'm not sure they will automate teaching anytime soon.
You calmed me. Thank you. Anytime soon. But how many programs you can find on internet which teach you very well?
Well, no, it's not as effective as a live teacher.
Okay, but I'm scared, and I have reason for them. Okay, I'm not probably talking about doctors, but who knows? Maybe doctors will be under threat too. What do you think?
Not too sure about that.
Me too.
I don't think so.
Me too. But general vector, a general direction, we are going in that way. So we don't know, we don't need people. Thank you. We need robots. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
We need robots. And by the way, it will probably can touch your career. Why? It can probably touch your career. You will go to school, to university, and then after university you will find that you are unemployed. Why?
Well, because some robot took it, maybe.
Of course. Your job is done by robots. By the way, name the sphere of people life where robots are not competitive at all. I don't know even. Look, music. Can robot create music?
Not really.
Why?
Well, because it is usually not too good.
Don't. Okay, I don't know, but a lot of more modern composers, probably all of them, they use some kind of programs, right?
Yeah.
So let's say they will do a program which can compose very well. Let's say about artist or painter. Can robot be an artist or a painter?
No.
Why not?
What do you expect from it? What do you want it to draw? Well, you see, they don't usually have the originality. They can compose a certain piece out of images and information they have stored, but it's not like a machine could ever create something new. It sounds stereotypical, but for now it is so.
You give me good arguments, very nice arguments, but robots are getting worse and worse, or better and better?
Well, better and better, of course. And depends on how you look at it.
I look at it with a lot of worries. I look at it with a lot of worries. And I told you about car drivers. I told you about teachers. By the way, well, I saw something on YouTube that it could be even plane without pilots. Actually, we have a lot of planes without pilots, but we call them another way. How do we call them? All these planes without pilots.
I don't know.
Drones.
Quadrocopters.
Drones.
Yeah.
Drones.
It isn't a real plane.
Why, Georgie? Why it isn't? What is there, which is not in a real plane? Don't understand you and don't agree with you. It's absolutely.
Well, for example, the ability to fly at high heights or to fly for extended periods of time.
Very easily, Georgie. It's not...
They can't fly for 8 hours straight, can they?
Easily.
No. I know. I did research.
Georgie,
the maximum time for now is 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay, fine, Georgie.
Before
fine.
we have to recharge them.
Fine. We. By the way, drones are mostly used for surveillance, right? For attacking too, for destroying, but mostly for surveillance. Can you translate surveillance?
Ну, гражданская оборона или что-то вроде того.
Наблюдение или аэрофотосъемка или слежка. How long can you stay in air